First of all, welcome to Pets. I think one of the biggest advantages that I can give you and big advice I can give you in preparation for what you're about to learn. You've only got 5 months between now and July 1 for you to learn how to maneuver the things that you're going to see here today. I'm going to teach you how to maneuver on the Rotary International website. It's going to be critical for you and your officers and your committee chairs to learn what has to happen. We're not going to do that before July 1, but that's what you're going to do before July 1. And so you have to really get familiar. So what you have to do now is to start spending time with the current officers in your club that are doing the things that you don't feel comfortable with. It might be treasurer, it might be membership, could be service, whatever the projects are, whatever you feel you're not familiar with, you should immediately get with the people who are in those and learn what you can learn from them so that you are at least familiar with before July 1 of how that all works and you're comfortable and your knowledge base is such that you're comfortable when you become president-elect, that you are familiar with all of those services in all those disciplines. Then you need to start training. So what's going to happen when you do all of that and everything I'm going to show you now, you have to do before July 1. Then we'll talk about what happens when we do July 1. So first I'm going to share with you the Rotary website. Let's go to that website. So here we are. And now what I have to do is you need to have your login and you need to have your password. If you don't know what your login is, it is more than likely your email, but your club secretary will have to help you develop what your password is and what your password is to be able to get in. Once you know your login and your password, I'm going to click on where it says log in here. I'm going to sign in here and it remembers my login and it remembers my password. So it's all I have to do is to hit the blue button and sign in. My name is already up here at the top right-hand corner, so you can see it's in process of logging me in. And we're going to wait until we get that logged in. Okay, now I'm logged in. And so I want to show you the strength of this website. This website is designed to teach you and your fellow officers and all your committee chairs. And it's really important that you learn now at PETS how to do this and how to maneuver it, because you really need to spend time learning where all this information is. Across the top here are all the different things. You don't have to touch anything. That's all you got to do is hover. And so here I'm going to manage. And if I want to manage, I'm going to come down to club administration. You can see anything I want to do to my club is right there. And when I click on that, here are all the major things in finance. But here's where you're going to spend most of your time is adding and removing members, or changing officers, or recording a new sponsor. There's a bunch of different things that are on here. But when you get into this category, here's some club sponsorships. You learn anything you want to learn about Rotaract, Interact, or even starting a satellite club. And if you start the satellite club, it shows you the information form. It shows you the application that's necessary, even gives you some frequently asked questions if you want to start it. And then if you want to get into community as well as other things, club giving, all of those things are in here. This is an action page for you to get involved in actually doing this action. It's not so much a training session, except here's a lot of different training right here under help. You can learn more about anything you want to know. It is in here. That's why you need to, now that you're in PETS, you need to start familiarizing yourself right away with this, because you're going to want to also have the time for your officers to learn how to do this. So let's go back to manage. And instead of going to the club and district, we're going to come down to Rotary Club Central. Rotary Club Central is going to be an area where you're going to be able to run reports. You really need, again, to familiarize yourself with this section, because this page is going to be a very big section, very, very valuable section for you. We're going to do goals here in a second, but first I want to bring you down to reports. And in reports, it will show you all the different reports you can run. This is for your membership and engagement, but there's also Rotary Foundation. Anything you want to know about the foundation, all the different reports, all the different district reports, And if you want any service issues, here's goal history by club. It shows you what your predecessors have done. Shows you a whole history of it, remembers in past years. It tells you all the Interact clubs that are in your district. But anyway, that's the service tab. And now let's go back to members and engagement tab. Again, we're still in report. We're still in the report section. These are the reports I can run. I can run a club report. All these are club reports here. Then I can get down to district reports. Here's all the district reports that I could run. Okay, so for example, in the club report, I can run a report that shows all my members in my club. If I click on any one of these, it'll open up a folder. So let's say that I want to do in my district, let's say, I want to look at the district growth. So I can do this for 1 year, or I can do it for 5 years. So if I click on the 5-year plan, this is going to show me every club in District 6980, which is my district. There we go. So it shows me now all the different clubs, and it shows me the 5-year history of how they started each year. July 1 of each year, it shows me in 2018, 19, 20, 21, and 22. It shows me what this club has done, and it's done every year. If I want to print this, it's all I do is I come up here to where this icon is, and it says export it to my computer, and I can export it, and it will do it. And I said, I just want to run the current report, and I hit OK, and there it is. But I want to tell you that the most valuable part of this for a president is this section right here called resources. Because here's what you need to do right after PETS is over today. When your PETS is completed, you need to teach your fellow officers and your committee chair members. So what you have to do as a person who comes out of PETS, you got to do this in the next week. You got to identify who are going to be your officers when you are club president. You need to talk to them now. You need to make sure they're trained. And if not, you got to have to teach them where they can go on the RI training to do that. And that's what I'm going to tell you about now. Okay, for general resources, for example, how to set a goal, how to report progress on a goal, how to record service activities. Everything is done in here for you to be able to do that. So that's the resource tab in the database. The other thing that's important for you to know is this area up here called Goal Center. Goal Center will show you and your team the goals that have been set. And I've already shown you that it goes back in history too, but let's say in the current year for the Rotary Club, in my Rotary Club in Orlando, we've got 20 different achievements that we've set for goals this year that we did at the beginning of our year prior to July 1. And it shows you what those goals, and by the way, you can print them out too, but it shows you and there's a couple of categories. There's the first category called membership engagement. Then there is the RI foundation giving. And every one of those things are on here. We're going to go through that. Service goals for your service projects. Here's RILA and Rotaract and Interact. And here's your public image. If you want to see them all, you can do that. Let's go back to membership engagement. Okay, so these are the goals that we had last year that we've already finished. This finished in July of 2022. So these were our published goals. We had set a goal of 100 membership. We had set a goal for 114. If I wanted to, during the year, edit any of these, by the way, this is already calculated. It comes right out of the RI database, as do most of these things. But you want to edit this. If you edit it, you can change your goal. So if 114 wasn't right and you want to go to 117 or whatever, you can do that. And so you got to do that is click save. And it will save it for you. And so when you come out of PETS today, you need to go scan and look at your current year and get an idea for what you want to commit to with your officers what you want to commit to for the year where you are club president. You really, when you become president-elect, you've only got 12 months left before you take over. You have got to, at that time when you become president-elect, you got to have all your team identified. You got to make sure your club secretary is going to go through training when you're going through training. It's a good idea to have a president-elect the year that they are president-elect to also be membership chair, because as there's nothing that affects your term as a president than the number of members. So it's a good idea for you to be on that membership committee. If you're not the chair of it, you should certainly be on it, because it's going to impact more than anything else the amount of money that you're going to have in your budget to be able to do whatever you want to do as president. So these are the goals. And like I say, there's a training program in there to be able to show you how to do that. But as a president-elect, this is a very valuable tab. It's called Learning and Reference. I would encourage you to really get interested in Learning and Research tab right as soon as you get out of PETS. And you got to have some intellectual curiosity here to help yourself prepare, because once you become president-elect, you only got 12 months to do this, and by then it's starting to be too late. So do it right after you're done with PETS. Get into, you can learn by role. There's what you can learn. You can learn new members. You can click on the club roles. You can click on anything you want to click on there. Learning by topic. You want to learn more about membership? You want to learn about fundraising? You want to learn about maybe starting another club, if your club wants to sponsor a new club. Here's more things about Rotary. If you want to do an action plan, you want to set up some issues with leadership, talk a little bit about the history of Rotary, financials, you name it. But here's what I really want to bring you to, the Learning Center. When you click on the Learning Center, this is where you need to spend a lot of time. But here's the Learning Center, and this is the most valuable area for you as president. When you come out of PETS, this is where you really need to get and dive in to the areas that you need to prepare for. All of your officers and your committee chairs can come in here to learn about anything you want to learn about. So let's take membership, for example. By the way, here's all the different, you want to learn more about the foundation, public image, just click on that. All the training is in here. Here's membership. Let's just look at the membership for a second. In this, these are all the different videos, training videos for you, best practices for engaging your membership. It's 45 minutes. Once you click on it and you start to do it, you'll learn. Here's the basic membership committee. And as I was saying earlier, it's a good idea as president-elect to become the membership chair for your club the year while you're president-elect. There's nothing that's going to impact your term as president greater than the number of members you have. So if you are a president-elect, it makes sense. You should either be the chair or you should be on the membership committee to make sure that you're doing everything you can to maximize the number of members that you're going to have, because it's going to allow you to determine what you're able to do. Now, in this membership committee basics, if you notice, this is a four total of 11 courses in here to be able to do that. You can click on this to be able to start it, and you'll see all of the different subjects that are on here that you can just click on. These I've already identified in a previous session. I've already finished all of these. Now I'm working on some of the others that are on there. If I want to go back, I just come to the upper left-hand corner here where it says back, and it brings me back to all of the different membership. If I hit back again, it'll take me to all the different courses. If you want to learn anything about professional development, want to learn more about Rotary, and so on. Each of your officers really need to go through this training. You do not want to have a club secretary or a treasurer that doesn't know how to do all the things and hasn't completed this training prior to them doing it. And like I say, don't wait until July 1 of your year. You got to do this when you are president-elect. That's when you only got 12 months, and you need time to train people. So here's what I would suggest. So when you become president-elect, that's when all of your team needs to start their respective training for their areas, whether it be for the Rotary Foundation, whether it be for service projects, no matter what it is, get them in their role when you become president-elect. Then they got 12 months to learn that job. So now let's talk about membership, adding a new member. So you come down to manage, and then just hover, go over to club administration, and you're in the club administration, which is right there. We're going to click on that, and it's going to bring us to your club. Now, in my case, it's going to bring you to my club. Okay, so now we'll come down to club administration, and it's going to, here's under update media data. Okay, so we're going to come down to this one, which is add, edit, and remove members. The reason you want to do this in Rotary International software and not your district or your club software is, for example, in our district in 6980, most of the clubs, if not all the clubs, use DAC and DACDB. And the problem though is if you're going to enter a new member into DAC, you don't know what the RI number is because DAC will not assign an RI number to a new member. If you go into Rotary International, which is what we're looking at, and if you click on that in Rotary International and you enter in the new member into Rotary International, it will automatically populate everything you've entered into RI. It will automatically populate it into DAC, into your club. So you save yourself a step. You just enter your new members into RI and it will automatically populate DAC if you're in District 6980 because your two softwares talk to each other. Okay, so here's what I want to do. I want to add a new member. So I'm going to click here. You can see that I've got 113 current members in my club because this includes honorary members too. And I'm going to add a new member. So the first thing they want me to do is they want me to put in the email address of the member. I don't know if they've got an RI number, but if they were a previous Rotarian, they should know what that is. If they told you that they had an RI number, that should be on your application. But if they told you what it was, you just simply enter in this. You don't need to enter in the email address. Just enter in the member ID number. Put in their first name, put in their last name, and then this will allow you to search. They'll search you for the member, and they will tell you whether or not that person is in the database. If they are in the database, then you just click on their name, and that's how you start the process. Just go through the process and just fill out all the information right off your application that was given to you and that your board approved. Anytime your board has approved a new member, it should be approved off of a membership form. And you should be using that membership form to enter that in. But again, remember, when you enter this in and this person is eventually entered in correctly into your database, they will show up in your database. And when they do show up in your database, you will have an RI number for them. And that will automatically, if you're in District 6980, that will automatically populate the DAC database for your club. And you've only had to do this once. So that's a savings of time. The other option you have here in this form is to manage club officers. If you want to say that somebody is going to take over as treasurer, you would use this and follow through.